There isn't a tip that I can give you or any other coach on the planet can give you that will allow you to effortlessly generate power on your forehand. That's simply not the way that tennis works. So if you just came for the answer, I'm not going to force you to stick around and watch the rest of the video. But because you clicked on it, it tells me that you want to improve your forehand, so I'm going to highly recommend watching the rest of the video, because I want to talk to you about what it takes and explain how you can develop more effortless power on your forehand. So hopefully you find the video helpful and enjoy it. If you do, it'd be awesome if you give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel before, it's much appreciated if you could do that as well. So to start with, there's something that I need to clarify, and that is that it is actually pretty easy for most players to create power. The difficult part is creating power and still getting the ball to land in. And that's where kind of modern tennis biomechanics come from. And that's the first thing that you're going to need if you want to create more effortless power. It's optimized biomechanics. You need to efficiently use your kinetic chain, starting with a good unit turn, preparing the body in the right way, loading on the outside or back leg. So as a right-hander, it's going to be your right leg, then driving through your hip as you do the racket drop, and effectively turning your body into a whip. So it's hip, torso, arm, and then racket coming through. Now, I'm not going to go into more detail than that because there are hundreds, if not thousands, of videos that break down the biomechanics. The other part to it is going to be the timing component. You have to be able to sequence your kinetic chain properly, but you also have to do it at the right time relative to the ball. So if you've got a theoretically optimal kinetic chain usage, but you start your swing too late, you're still not going to be able to create effortless power and get the ball to land in, because the timing is really important. You need to be using your kinetic chain and contact normally in front of your body, so that you've used all the big muscles, you've created the racket head speed, and now it's just momentum carrying the racket into the ball. So it's really both pieces together. It's the biomechanics and timing. And again, I'm not going to break down timing in too much detail because I've got a number of videos that do that, and I'll place a link to one of those videos down in the description so that you can learn more about fixing timing problems. Because what I want to do for the rest of this video is talk about the thing that's actually important, the how to do it. And when I'm talking about the how, I'm talking about how you practice, because other than your physical ability, the way that you practice is going to be the single biggest thing that decides how much your forehand improves and whether you're able to develop a high level forehand or not. And the unfortunate reality is that most players don't practice in a way that's going to allow them to improve. Now, when I talk about high quality practice, it's about working on the right thing. It's about working on it at the right level of difficulty and working on it for long enough, which normally means thousands of repetitions, until you've developed a new habit. It's only once you've developed a new habit that you've actually moved forward and you've progressed within your technique. And I think a big part of the blame here has to fall on coaches. If you look around the internet, there are thousands of videos talking about every aspect of tennis. Very few coaches are emphasizing the quality and importance of practice. There's lots of secrets and lots of unique ideas and tips that are supposed to fix things. And the chances are you've gone out and you've tried those and it sounds good and it makes sense, but it doesn't actually help you progress forward. And the reason it doesn't help you progress forward is because it might be completely the wrong thing. Even if it was theoretically a good tip or technique, it might be completely the wrong thing for you. If you want to improve your forehand, you need to fix the underlying problems with your forehand. And in my experience, working with players over the last few years from around the world, the vast majority of players are focusing on completely the wrong thing. They're focusing on precise biomechanics and really advanced things that pros do, and they're missing out on the fundamentals. It's normally the fundamentals that are going wrong with player strokes. So what I want to do is kind of show you just a little bit of my practice so you can see what I mean by that, because I've been relearning to play left-handed for the last few years, so it's progressing fairly nicely, but I'm still working on very basic elements. In this video here, all I'm focusing on still is my preparation. I'm focusing on my spacing, so trying to set up further from the ball, because I used to have a one-hander as a right-handed player, and now as a left-handed player I need to be much further away, so I've got to do lots of repetitions to recalibrate that. Here I'm dealing with a higher ball, which is something that I've traditionally found a little bit more difficult, like a lot of players do. So I'm working on trying to be further away to deal with this high ball. I'm also working on the quality of my unit turn. So initially my timing wasn't as good on my left hand for obvious reasons, but now that my timing's starting to improve, I'm trying to get a bigger unit turn and have a slightly, better quality of preparation so that then I can generate more power. But 2.5 years into my journey learning to play left-handed, I'm still focusing on the basics. Every single practice session, I'm still thinking about my preparation, timing the split step, setting up the right distance for the ball, getting a good unit turn, because those are the most important things. When I get that stuff right, then I generally hit a better quality of shot. If I get too close to the ball, that's when I tend to mess things up. So yes, as a secondary thing that's running in my head, I'm kind of thinking about other aspects of the technique, but it is a secondary thing. We only have so much focus and attention, so like 95% of my focus is on the preparation, setting up in the right position, and then there's just 5% left over for other things. And that's the way that you need to approach things as well. You need to figure out what is going on with your stroke, where's it going wrong, and you need to focus on addressing whatever that problem is and working on it for long enough until you fix that underlying problem. And it might take quite a while, because like I said, I've been working at this for over 2 years, and I'm still working on the spacing. But that's how you progress. That's how I've been able to get to a pretty solid 4.5 level with my left hand, by doing very mundane, boring, repetitive practice, focusing on the basics. So that's what I recommend for you as well. So hopefully that video has been useful for you. If it has, you might be interested in a class that I've created that talks about using brain-based training to improve your skill. Because in addition to the quality of your practice, the other thing that decides the level that you can get to is your skill. And we can use brain-based training to improve our eye-to-hand, eye-to-foot coordination, and that's what allows you to have optimized biomechanics and better timing. So I'll place a link to this free class up there, and I'll place a link down in the description so that you can check that out if you're interested. If you've got any questions or comments about what I talked about today, leave them in the comment section. I love to hear your feedback. And of course, if you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I will catch you next time.